we are going to learn about concept of IF frequency. So what we will learn is this. This is the content. What is IF signal? What are the core advantages of using a fixed IF? What is the primary challenge? And that is image frequency. Now don't get confused. IF and IF here. Here IF is intermediate frequency and here it is image frequency. And then at last we will see what is low IF, high IF, etc. Let's begin with most fundamental question, and that is, what is IF signal? IF signal is intermediate frequency. It's a middle frequency created by converting a high frequency signal into lower. Why? Easier to handle. IF is a fixed lower frequency created from a high RF signal. What is the formula for that? And that is difference of local oscillator frequency and radio frequency. Now what happens is IF frequency is intermediate frequency. It's a kind of when a receiver when a receiver receives signals, then signals, if they are very high frequency signal, they are very unstable. High frequency signal are unstable, so receivers sometimes cannot capture the high frequency signal. So for that we need something stable, constant signal, so that we can efficiently capture or receive the signals. For that we need IF frequency. IF frequency in the sense intermediate frequency. Now what is local oscillator radio frequency? We will look at it. There is a system called there is a system for receiver, super heterodyne receiver, in which an antenna is there which captures everything, captures signal. From that wave goes to a block, and below that block there is local oscillator and there is a mixer. Now that RF frequency and mixer, okay, the local oscillator and that frequency both gives their frequency to mixer, and then mixer, at mixer happens this formula, it creates a difference. Now what are advantages of IF frequency? It's easier to filter out. Filtering can be designed very accurately. Why? How? Because frequency value is fixed. This gives better selectivity. Another advantage is better sensitivity. Weak signal become easier to detect after converting them to IF frequency. So even if signal is weak, but if it is IF, still we can capture it. This is one of the advantage of intermediate frequency. Third and the main is better image frequency rejection. Intermediate frequency allows designer to choose a frequency that can minimize image frequency interference. Now what is image frequency? It's a signal which is unwanted. Image frequency create interference which we don't want. So image frequency rejection, that means more we reject image frequency, more good or more we can retrieve our original signal. This is the main advantage of using IF frequency. Now the challenge, image frequency is the challenge. Image frequency creates unwanted signal as we discussed. This creates interference in the receiver. This cause noise and distortion. Image frequency enters mixer. It produces an IF output indistinguishable from the real signal. Lower IF increases the image problem. What is lower IF, higher IF? We will see in the next slide. But this is the base. So here the villain is image frequency and hero is high IF. more intermediate frequency, higher intermediate frequency far is image frequency. What I mean low IF, high IF. See, the choice of IF frequency. Low IF, that is easier to filter. As we discussed, if the frequency is much stable or lower, our receiver can receive very efficiently as selectivity and sensitivity improves. Better audio. Low IF allows better demodulation of narrow band signal, higher sensitivity. But the thing is worst image rejection due to low IF, due to low intermediate frequency. The image frequency, that is the villain that we don't want in our film, in our system. But due to the low IF, that image frequency enters into our system. That creates distortion. Okay. For that, the solution is on the right side, that is high IF. Excellent image rejection. Image frequency move far, making RF filtering easier. How? How that is possible? For that, we need to look at our this slide. This is the formula as we discussed. I told you, this is the formula where you will see high IF, low IF. This is frequency of intermediate frequency. How IF is generated is due to the difference of local oscillator and the radio frequency which is received. If the difference is high, it's high RF. If difference is low, it's low IF. According to this difference makes image frequency rejection. So excellent image rejection making RF filtering easier. Improved selectivity. Higher IF reduces mixer confusion. Mixer cannot differentiate by itself whether this frequency is image frequency or intermediate frequency. We need to differentiate so that mixer can do its work very efficiently. Cleaner and more accurate tuning. One thing which we can consider in high IF as a disadvantage, that is filters are expensive. Filters are expensive, they are harder to design as well as more complex. This is one of disadvantage of high IF. So this was all about what is intermediate frequency, what is imaginary image frequency, how we can choose our IF, etc. Thank you.